we have a brand new trailer for the brand new Season 5 of Cobra Kai, along with a release date, and today we'll dive deep to discover its secrets. I'm Ken Cole, and if you're a fan of Cobra Kai, you're in the right place. And be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss anything from the Ken Cole Dojo. Today, we're going to break down the Season 5 trailer, and if you're interested in a really in-depth discussion, be sure to check out my recent epic 3-hour live KenCast, where we talked about every shot in this thing. The link to that is in the description. In this video, I'm going to keep things a lot shorter, I promise. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Here we go. So the first series of shots recaps the outcome of the 51st All-Valley Championship at the end of Season 4. I won't spend time on that because you've seen it already. Let's look at the new stuff. First, we have a shot of the beautiful San Fernando Valley at dusk, and we hear Terry Silver say, "Today is a turning point for Cobra Kai," while we see what looks like a swanky new dojo, with Kyler and Kenny up front, and a lot of new faces. Speaking of faces, check out the giant photo of Terry Silver along the back wall, which reminds us of why we love Terry Silver so much, because he loves himself. Also, along the back, we can see weightlifting gear, a dummy, championship trophies, the Cobra Kai logo, and lightsaber-esque lights on the wall. Maybe Terry is Emperor Palpatine. Then we have this beautiful golden rendition of the Cobra Kai logo. We're not sure where it's located. Could it be in the dojo or in Terry's home? To me, the colors and opulence reminds me of when Terry Silver lived in his Karate Kid 3 mansion. So hopefully this means he's embracing that part of himself again. Then we hear Terry say, "Our competition has closed up shop," while we see Daniel looking frustrated and throwing a cloth over the Miyagi-Do karate sign at Miyagi's house, which appears to be a nod to the agreement that the tournament loser has to close their business.
If we lose, I go. If you lose,
we won't lose.
Next, we see Kenny Payne deal some painful damage to another student in a sparring match. It appears Kenny is becoming a rising star of the Cobra Kai dojo. All the while, Terry Silver smiles with pride as his plan for world domination is coming true. Then we hear Terry say, "The only thing better than a full dojo is a whole valley of full dojos." Then we see someone place a marker. This marker has a Cobra Kai flag and a coffee creamer on a surface with another marker that looks like a flat eraser. Remember this because we'll come back to it in a minute. Then we have a grand opening of a new Cobra Kai dojo, which looks very upscale, with a ramp taking up tons of space. Lots of people are interested and lined up, with Kenny handing out flyers in front. Then we're back to the Cobra Kai coffee creamer markers and eraser markers on a map of the San Fernando Valley. So according to this, it looks like there are 9 Cobra Kai creamer locations and 6 other eraser locations. And we could guess that the other locations are Daniel's locations or technically Chozen's locations. Now remember, in Karate Kid Part 2, Chozen was Sato's nephew, and Sato owned the largest dojo in Okinawa and was a very rich businessman. Chozen also taught at Sato's dojo. In Season 3 of Cobra Kai, we learned that Chozen is still teaching, possibly at Sato's old dojo, and presumably Sato, who never had children, passed down everything to Chozen. So Chozen could very well be rich, skilled at business, and very experienced in creating successful dojos. In other words, a good match for Terry Silver. We don't know whose hands are placing the marker. Could it be Silver? Or could this be at LaRusso Auto? It looks like there's a graph layout on the sides. And would Terry Silver really use coffee creamers on his battle map? I'm thinking he'd spring for the platinum pieces. So maybe this is Daniel or Chozen's hand. Or could it be someone else? Then we see Johnny standing outside of a new Cobra Kai location, possibly drinking a Coors, and looking at the new Cobra Kai signage with a notable change in the color scheme, from yellow and black to red and black. Cool new font too. Nice work, Mr. Silver. And speaking of Mr. Silver, there's his face again on a stand-up banner. Then Terry Silver says, "Come join us," while looking right into the camera. His black gi has red cuffs that match his new color scheme. The students then say, "Yes, sensei." Then it's revealed that this was part of a commercial for Cobra Kai that Chozen and Daniel have been watching in his home. Daniel says, "This is what we're up against," and Chozen looks on very confidently, dressed in a classic shirt straight from his collection. Then we get some flashbacks to Karate Kid 3, including Daniel training with the Quicksilver method. That's before we see Tori training against a similar dummy. Notice that Tori has a very similar expression to Daniel here, and in the wider shot we see Terry Silver looking on, as what looks like 4 more new senseis appear to surround Tori. 3 men stand in the background, and 1 woman with a long braid stands close to Tori. These people have red cuffs on their gis like Terry Silver, so they're probably new senseis for his new locations. But why is only Tori here with these 5 senseis? Is this a punishment? Or is this special training for Tori? Could Tori be on the verge of becoming an instructor herself? And would this be a Quicksilver test to achieve that? We see Daniel talking to Amanda saying, I know firsthand that Silver isn't afraid of putting kids in harm's way, and that's why I have to take him down. So it's possible that Amanda isn't totally on board with Daniel's plan, and he's trying to convince her. Then Terry Silver says calmly, you're playing with fire, Danny boy, as he's wearing what looks like a new chain and a black golf shirt. And then we get the now classic line from Chozen, and I am gasoline. This is amazing because it's the first time we see Chozen, a bad guy from Karate Kid 2, in a scene with Terry Silver, the bad guy from Karate Kid 3. And a lot of us are guessing that they'll fight at some point. But also notice that all 3 of them seem to be wearing golf shirts. And the background is very reminiscent of the Encino Oaks Country Club. Could Terry Silver now be a member of Encino Oaks? If so, he's really spreading his tentacles everywhere, maybe to eventually choke out Daniel. Then Johnny pushes open a door with a bag at what looks like a gas station in Mexico, with a Cinderella shirt and sunglasses with the tag still hanging on them. Johnny's on his quest to find Miguel. Robby asks, how could you take me down to Mexico and not mention we're coming to get Miguel? We see them driving, and there's an aerial establishing shot of Mexico. Miguel gets off a bus, which could be the same bus we saw at the end of season 4. So it looks like Johnny might be hoping this trip will bring Robby and Miguel closer together, because they'll be stepbrothers if Johnny and Carmen get married. We see Carmen looking very concerned on the phone. Could she be getting a call from Miguel, Johnny, or maybe Miguel's dad? Speaking of Miguel's dad, who's this guy standing next to Miguel in a venue with MMA cage fights? The guy's nicely dressed and puts his hand on his shoulder. Could it be Miguel's dad? Carmen definitely thought Miguel's dad was a bad dude.
I learned the truth about my husband's job. Let's just say he was a very bad man.
So let me know what you think. Venue looks like a fun, popular place with a fight in progress. What is Miguel doing here, and will he end up in that cage fighting? Robby asks, do you even have a plan? And Johnny replies, of course I do. I'll ask around if anyone saw Miguel. And then we see Johnny and Robby come into that fighting arena wearing FBI shirts, which say female body inspectors on the back. And they run into some tough characters, maybe MMA fighters. The interesting thing is Miguel seems to have landed here. Is this where Miguel's father's based? Could Miguel be in trouble? Then Robby asks, that's the big plan? Also notice from the people in the audience that this seems to be an above-board establishment, very different from the underground kumite in Bloodsport. Here's a shot from the season 4 finale where Johnny walks into the old Cobra Kai dojo with a voiceover saying, we all get it wrong sometimes. Then there's this spinning shot of Sam in her Miyagi-Do gi, and Johnny saying, if you own up to your mistakes, and this whole shot is very dreamlike, like it's happening in Sam's head. We can see Jasmine and Moon in the background, dressed in Lakers cheerleader costumes from the season 1 Halloween party. But then there's more spinning, and we hear Johnny say, you always have a shot at making things right. And we briefly see Eli/Hawk holding his trophy as the room spins. So Sam seems to be contemplating her life and friendships before Tori is shown holding her trophy. Tori looks a bit conflicted and depressed, no doubt thinking about how Terry Silver bribed the referee to make sure she won. Then we see Miguel run into Robby in the parking lot of a water park. They get into the beginning of a fight and Johnny shows up. They tell him they'll never be friends. So does this mean that Johnny's grand plan doesn't work? Could this complicate his plans to be with Carmen? Then Daniel tells Chozen there's only one way to end this. And we see Terry Silver dominating some sparring partners, reminding us of that sparring scene in Karate Kid 3, only this time it looks like at least one of them is Kenny Payne-sized. In fact, that could be Kenny. If Terry Silver is now full contact sparring with students, well, that's not good for the kids. Then Daniel says, we've got to cut the head off the snake, meaning, of course, take out Terry Silver. And we go back to this dream sequence of Sam fighting someone else with similar hair and sai and a black gi. So first off, it looks like a classic light Sam versus dark Sam fight, an internal battle Sam is waging for her own soul. But what's interesting is the white gi is a Miyagi-Do gi. The black gi could be a Cobra Kai gi. Could this mean that Sam will join Cobra Kai and get her mind twisted by Terry Silver? Will Terry Silver turn Sam against Daniel? And is this what he meant by, "Don't play with fire, Danny boy"? If so, this could be Sam's internal battle to get out of Terry Silver's clutches. Then Johnny says "badass" to Carmen, and he seems pretty happy. Could Carmen have just said yes to Johnny's proposal? Then Johnny kicks some dude's surfboard in half. We're not sure why, but he's wearing the Cinderella shirt he had on in Mexico in an earlier shot, so maybe this is a Mexican beach. Then we see a shady guy in a hat sitting at a table with money and beer cups on it. Could this be Miguel's dad? He looks like a rough character, and he's surrounded by goons who move in on Miguel, though Miguel's fighting skills surprise them. Then Robby and Miguel fight again outside at Johnny and Miguel's apartment complex. They could both be living there now if Robby moves in with Johnny. Terry Silver says, "I told you not to play with fire," with a towel around his neck in a steam room, which is an incredible callback to the famous steam room scene in Karate Kid 3. But the question is, whose steam room is it? Is it at Terry's house? Is it at Encino Oaks Country Club? And who is he talking to? Is it Daniel, Chozen, or someone else who has yet to enter the picture? Then we get the new Season 5 logo. Instead of the past season's logos that followed the black and yellow color scheme from the Cobra Kai snake emblem, now we have the new Terry Silver red and black color scheme. Almost like the new season logo has been specially designed by Terry Silver's team. And the new release date of September 9th, way earlier than I thought, and great news for all fans. Then we get a stinger scene with Chozen pulling out his sai, and Daniel says, "Hey, whoa, no, I didn't mean literally cut his head off." So really, a ton of great story is teased in this trailer. For me, the return of Chozen and the idea of him squaring off against Terry Silver is just incredible. And we didn't see any hints of John Kreese or fan favorites Mike Barnes, Snake, or Dennis. Is there a reason for this? Could Mike Barnes return to help John Kreese and not Terry Silver, if Mike Barnes is coming back at all? Of course, I hope that Terry Silver gets a lot more powerful on his quest for total global domination, but we'll have to see what happens. What did you think of the trailer? Let me know in the comments. A big thanks to Drew O'Reilly, Peter Vonasak, and everyone in the live stream chat. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It'll help this channel grow. Also, there's a new thanks button if you'd like to directly support this channel. Thank you. And if you enjoy Cobra Kai, the next thing you should watch is Cobra Cole, my new comedy where I work for someone who might be Terry Silver and try to get help from my cousin, played by David Shatraw, Tom Cole on Cobra Kai. If you like Cobra Kai, you won't want to miss Cobra Cole, and you can check it out right now. See you next time.